So, students, today you will see very important part of this chapter, heat and temperature. That is the effects of heat. Now you know, heat is a form of energy, and every one of you know what are the effects of heat. Actually, heat is a form of energy, and energy of any type can be used in different ways. Like sunlight. Sunlight is used by the plants in photosynthesis to manufacture the food. So that is the one effect of sun heat. You know. Then second, we cook food materials, cooking of food materials. Then uh, doing some work. Like running of train. Train runs nowadays mostly by the help of electricity. Then in construction industry, in construction industries, wires are made, cables are made, roads are made, roads of iron they are made, cement is made. So the point is that we cannot ignore the effect of heat. Cooking is there, so there are different ways. There are different ways to this use the heat. Different ways to use the heat, and so we can have this point. Now I'm starting. So first, in cooking, heat is essential, and without proper heat, it is not possible. It is not possible. If the heat is, if the heat is not proper, if the heat is not sufficient, if the heat is not sufficient, then the food will be uncooked. So for this cooking, proper or sufficient heat is required. So this is one point. Now second, current is used. Current, or you may say current electricity. Current is used in industries. All the industries like cement industry, steel and iron industry, making of bus, cars, all clothes, all are based totally on electricity. You can imagine all the machines, they require energy. So energy is required either by electricity or by the engines, diesel engine. So diesel engine, it is able to provide the energy by working, by running. Then the machines, they operate. Similarly, electric motors are used. Now then, in grinding of grains, grinding of grains, grains are grinded. Grains are grinded. The atta chakki, the flour mill, where you take our grains for grinding, for making chapati. So all are they, require electricity. Or some of us have, flour mill at our home, mini flour mill. So it runs. Then in heating, of water, Heating of water also, electricity is required. Current is needed. Suppose we use, immersion rod. We use geyser, electric geyser. So then, current is required. Immersion rod, immersion rod is there. So it requires the. Then in hospitals also. In hospitals, current is an emergency. Current is a very important point. In hospital, all the equipments, whether it is testing of blood, it is X-ray, it is use of different instruments. So all they work with the electricity. Then this in ICU, AC is there. All they work on electricity, and without the electricity, we cannot imagine the proper running of any hospital also. Then in hospital, there is the sterilization, removing of germs and bacteria. Removing of germs and bacteria also. Removing of germs and bacteria. So that is called sterilization. Sterilization of equipments needed in hospitals. All the equipments, cotton, gauze, needle, scissor, forceps, all are sterilized. How? They are sterilized by using different devices, by boiling. So the boiler, very high pressure is required, and the high pressure is required by the special type of furnaces. Boilers, they sterilize, they kill due to very high pressure. All the bacteria, viruses, they are destroyed, they are killed. Because there's the maximum chance of infection. There's the maximum chance of infection, and to prevent the infection, it is done. So sterilization is a process. Sterilization is a process to remove any disease-causing organism. It is possible by heating at very high temperature, and so this is one aspect of this use of energy. Then we may say in microwave cooking, in microwave induction cooking, heat is produced by current. So this is something very limited point about this usage of heat. You may say ironing of clothes, ironing of clothes are ironed. Clothes are ironed by electric press. So it is the heating effect. It is the heating, utilization of heating, and so this is about the point. Now I'm going to explain about the another effect of heat, that is the thermal expansion. So first I'm going to explain what is thermal expansion. Actually, thermal, the word therm stands for heat, and expansion to increase in size. So when there is an increase in size of any object by heating, it is called as thermal expansion. So therm you know word thermal is the adjective, so it is like this. You know, in science all the words they are made like this. So now I'm coming to the statement or the definition. So write down, it may be defined as, it may be defined as the increase in the dimensions, increase in the dimensions or size of a substance, size of a substance. Dimension is increase, you know, length, width, etc. You know, is increased, is called as substance. Rather we write substance on heating, on heating. So it has to be included. On heating is, you know, on heating is called as thermal expansion. So this is the statement or the definition of this topic. When there is the increase in size, dimension, area, you know, area increases. So it is called as thermal expansion. So, you know, heating is necessary. Without heating, it is not possible. It is called as thermal expansion. What called as thermal expansion? Now see, you must be knowing, or you must have seen the railway tracks. Railway tracks are there. So, you know,
Yes.
this is one railway track. Who have not noticed, kindly, whenever you find any play time, go and see. So, railway tracks, you know, the two railway tracks, you know, they are joined, because, you know, railway tracks, you know, they are not, it is not possible to build or manufacture very huge. So now the two are joined. Here, you know, there is, you know, joining by, you know, using the plates. So here gap is left. Gap is left. Gap is left because, you know, gap of calculated size is left, because in case of summers, you know, temperature is very high in our country, and so it expands, and, you know, trains, you know, they are very heavy. So due to, you know, heating, they expands, and due to train also, there is the increase in size. There is increase in size of length of this, you know, railway track. So what will happen if we attach like this? If we attach like this, so what will happen? If we have kept here, so what will happen? They will, you know, move slightly. They will move upward or, you know, downward. In this condition, you know, in first step, this second, in first step, they will increase in the size. They will, you know, occupy this gap, and so there is no chance of accident. But here, in second case, if they are, you know, neck to neck, if they are in contact with each other, or no gap is there, what will happen? You know, as a result, you know, there will be, you know, like this. There will be, you know, increase in size. It will move upward, or, you know, it can bend downward also. So there is a chance of accident. So this is one point. So this we keep like this. Now other point is, I am, you know, telling the common points. So first is in railway tracks, the small gap is left. A small gap is left. This is first point. Now, second, electric wires, on poles, transmission lines, poles, transmission lines, transmission lines, which carry the current from one place to other place. Transmission lines are neither tight nor loose. Just moderate, length is there. This is done because in summers what happens? Wires, they sagging. They come down, they sag down due to expansion. So, like this, if poles are there, so if we, these are the wires. So wires, they are just kept like this. Then there will be little, it comes downward. It comes downward slightly, and so there is no charge. Similarly, in case of winters, there will be opposite of expansion, there will be contraction, so it may break. Similarly, railway tracks also break. You must be knowing, railway tracks may break due to contraction in winters also. So this is one point about the expansion. Now, then there can be, this is the second point. Now, third point is, expansion of balloon, expansion of balloons, tires, etc. So this is, expansion of the gases. You all must be knowing, when we want to play football or basketball, so we go for the proper pressure, proper air in the ball, because if proper air is not present, we will not be able to play properly. So this is one point. So this is due to a expansion of gases. Now, why it is? Because of the temperature. Now see, nowadays in winters the temperature is very low. So we go for the checking of air pressure. We go for the checking of air pressure for our cycle, bicycle, motorcycle, car. Why? Because due to low temperature of the atmosphere, the air, the movement of the molecules of air is decreased. Movement of molecules is decreased, and so the air pressure in the tires, football, it is decreased. This is common observation, because by hitting the gas molecules, they keep on moving, they keep on striking. Why not? Why any vessel increases? Why the size increases? Size increases because of the expansion of the gases. Why gases expands? Gases expands by the striking of the gas molecule. Suppose if I draw, that there is a balloon. So here there is a gas molecule. So gas molecules, they are always in the random motion. So this is the motion of gas molecule. They are never at rest. They always keep on moving, and this is the reason of the gaseous pressure. Gases exert pressure by the striking of the particles. So you may add, gases exert pressure. Gases exert pressure by the striking of molecules.
They want.
Gases exert pressure by the striking of molecules on the walls of the container. They keep on striking. This is one point. Now then, fourth point. Fourth point. Fourth point. Liquids expand. Expansion of liquids. Expansion of liquids. So liquids also expand. Liquids also expand, by this any heating. So when we prepare any food material, what we do? We take the proper size of vessel. Proper size of vessel has to be taken, because when we heat, when we cook any food material, what will happen? The liquid will expand. Why liquid will expand? Liquid will expand by gaining the energy of the system, whether we are using induction, or using heater, or we are using LPG, or we are using the chula or sigri, etc. So they all provide heat, and so by this expansion of liquids takes place. So this is about the thermal expansion. So thermal expansion, it is possible in solids, it is possible in liquids, it is possible in gases, etc. Now I'm going to explain one very important point about the survival of aquatic animals in cold climates. Survival of, it is also an example of expansion. So survival of aquatic animals in extremely cold climates. How they are able to survive. It is very important point, and is based on the expansion of heat. So if there is a pond, let it be in the Kashmir, or let it be in Switzerland. So in a pond, there is water. This is a pond, and so water is there. Fishes are there. Fishes are there. Let it, fish is there. There can be turtles also. There can be grasses also. So what happens when the temperature starts lowering? So at a particular temperature, at 4 degrees Celsius, temperature of 4 degrees Celsius, water has maximum density. And the water become dense of this top surface, and as the temperature becomes 4 degree, it starts sinking. There is sinking of water when it approaches to 4 degrees Celsius. Now, as a result of this, the entire water acquires the temperature of 4 degrees Celsius. So ice is not formed at random. Ice is not formed at once. The formation of ice takes place slowly. So at 4 degrees Celsius, water has maximum density. Thickness. It is heavy. So it sinks down, and entire water becomes at what? 4 degrees Celsius. Then the temperature of the top starts decreasing, and then there is the formation of ice. Ice is formed. Then the ice is formed. There is the formation of ice. This is the ice layer. Now this is solid. Layer. But what about this? The inside is water. And as a result of fishes, turtles, all the aquatic animals, plants, they are able to survive. So this is very important point, and this is also based on the thermal expansion. So this is a very important point, and this is in cold climatic